Godzilla! And you're listening to Loathsome Things, a horror movie podcast in which we make total idiots out of ourselves. And talk about scary movies like this one, which is so scary. My name is John, and with me is my co-host Josh. Josh, now that we've seemed to have sorted our technical issues, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing quite well. I look forward to the next time that we spend 40 minutes bouncing between Facebook Messenger and Discord trying to just get one that will simultaneously let us talk to and see each other at the same time with relatively little lag. It's a great time to be alive.
Oh man, magical. Yeah. WhatsApp, good. WhatsApp might work. I use that for my
WhatsApp
when I talk to my mother-in-law for my Portuguese lessons.
Nice.
Tudo bem.
Nice. I have never used WhatsApp. I hear it's what the kiddos have, so I'm down to try anything. That is not what was. This is terrible.
Yeah, no, it's very popular in, well, pretty much everywhere on the planet except here.
Nice.
And then here it's probably very popular as long as you're not white.
Nice. So I take it that's not the one where the conservatives share their kiddie porn.
I hope not. No, okay. I think that is Telegram, Telepants, Teletubbies.
Yes.
I'm so old. It's the one that all the text scammers try to get me to move over to while I tell them how I'm banging their mother, and they just ignore that and ask me to move over to Telepenis or whatever it's called.
A great place to be.
So good. Yeah, so on this stormy day, what are we talking about here?
Well, John, you very entertainingly and I must say pleasantly chose for us to review Ishirô Honda's Matango, aka The Attack of the Mushroom People.
Ah, very nice, very nice. From 1963. That's right. Honda made Godzilla in 1954.
Yeah.
And 9 years later, this is how far he'd come in cinema.
Yeah. This was so after Godzilla, a dark movie, yes. You might say.
Yeah.
This was his movie that was like hailed as his dark movie.
Yeah. I mean, I guess thematically it's dark. It's just the acting. I mean, I understand it's now 2024, so it's things have changed a wee, but still, it's been 60 years. But
60 years,
Jesus Christ! But man, I mean, it has not aged well, if it even will look timely ever.
No. I feel like it probably never was. Oh man, I was excited whenever I found out, when Ramon pointed out that this is the Godzilla guy, and I was like, oh man, then this is gonna be really good!
This is gonna fucking smoke!
Oh man, I just never looked at that guy's filmography.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, Ishirô Honda, he is credited as the co-creator of the kaiju and tokusatsu film genres, alongside special effects director Eiji Tsuburaya, and they were also the early pioneers of disaster cinema.
Ah, yes, very nice. Yes, absolute unit in the world of monster movies.
Yep.
And it sometimes dabbled in horror.
A little bit, or whatever this is. Yeah.
This is not the first shroom sci-fi movie.
No.
The first one we have covered was the original Thing, from another
Yeah.
planet, and I don't know if there was anything before that. I guess that's pretty much as soon as cinema started, there were mushroom horror movies.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. This it's got Shockwaves vibes.
Yes, it very much has Shockwaves vibes.
Very Shockwaves vibes. It's also got some real strong Gilligan's Terrible Island vibes.
Oh my god. Yes, it does. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it sadly does.
I was a little upset that no one made anything out of coconuts. It seemed like coconuts weren't available on this island. Otherwise, I'm sure they would have tried to make a telephone.
No coconuts, only mushrooms and very clean turtle eggs.
Oh man, the cleanest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so much ridiculousness to cover when we discuss this. I'm trying to remember the sequel to Ossorio, or whatever his name was, Amando de Ossorio, that did Tombs of the Blind Dead, that we covered.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, that was killer. The sequel was like basically at sea on a haunted ghost ship.
Yeah.
And it's just fucking it's delightful. The Ghost Galleon, that's it.
That's right. Yes.
This and the Ghost Galleon share some pretty heavy vibes. If you know how to read, you should check out my Substack newsletter, where I do a full-on write-up of the Ghost Galleon, which I fucking loved, and it's terrible.
Yeah. Kind of like this.
Yeah.
This is a very enjoyable movie that is of superbly low quality.
Very fun. I really was hoping I could have found it in Japanese, but all I could find was the really poorly dubbed version. But, that does always add the entertainment value. I mean, it's...
Yeah.
Yeah. The misogyny does not, but,
Ooh. Is it just all over the place in this movie?
Right out of the chute.
Some real 1963 Japan ideas about what an impressive man looks like and how women should be.
And how far men should pull their socks up.
Yeah. No belly button should ever be seen peeking above one's slacks.
Nary a body hair to be found.
I love whenever he does a threatening knife pose, and he does like this, and he's just like, it's just the stupid it's one of the great things about not the first Godzilla movie. The first Godzilla movie is amazing, but as Godzilla went on, everything Toho Studios came out with, it was just, what if everyone in Japan was a total dweeb?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they went about emasculating themselves as some sort of statement.
Yeah. Very strange. Yeah. Ishirô Honda also did the first Godzilla movies. He also directed a bunch of non-Godzilla movies, including The War of the Gargantuas, which is really, influential, and one that I'm excited to watch called Frankenstein vs. Baragon.
Oh my god.
Yes.
I was not aware of that, and now I have to watch it as well.
Yes.
Post haste.
And he was brought out of retirement by Akira Kurosawa, who was like, hey, I've only got 10 years left to live. Why don't you come be involved in all my final movies?
Right. That's right. Yeah, I mean, it's, I guess, yes, it's a heavily populated country, but I'm guessing that the film actor pool in 1963 probably wasn't super deep.
Yeah.
Because if you can be in Seven Samurai and Yojimbo, and then also be in Matango,
yes,
you're pretty much you're probably looking at 10 dudes that you can pick for your movies, half of which are in this fucking movie.
Ooh, you got thunder where you are.
Oh. Ooh.
Oh Oh god, yeah. All of the actors, either there's not a big pool, or it's just like the official like Toho Studios like
that's true. Because they have a roster, right? That was kind of that was kind of how they do stuff, right? The studios would have their. I mean, I guess that was a Hollywood thing too. You'd sign like an actor would sign to MGM and only do MGM picks or whatever.
Yeah,
so, like Akira Kubo and Kumi Mizuno and Hiroshi Koizumi. Fucking coolest names ever. Kenjo Zahara,
really
Yoshio Tsuchiya, and Miki Yashiro. Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I do like the Japanese naming conventions. Like they always sound good. It's I don't know. They got those one vowel, one consonant name situations going on, and it always kicks ass.
When in doubt, stress the first syllable.
Yeah, Suzuki.
No, Suzuki. It's Gojira. It's very common for some reason. I don't know why. It's just their language, I guess. And I'm sure I get it wrong 99% of the time, but I just stress the first symbol constantly now.
Just every single one. Ishirô Honda.
Right, yeah. And then, of course, I have to do it in the totally, like, socially, culturally inept way of, like, Kenjo!
Matango!
So apparently Yoshio Tsuchiya, was one of Kurosawa's favorite actors, and he went on to put him in Seven Samurai and Yojimbo, and apparently was just in love with this dude. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
Is that the yacht owner one?
Yeah, he's the owner. Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Then what else did I read in the little trivia thing? Like Guillermo del Toro loves this film, which I could totally see. And Steven Soderbergh loved this film, and he wanted to remake it, but couldn't get it worked out with Toho, because Toho was like, you can suck it. We want more money.
We'll never let you remake any of our franchises.
But we will let other people do it.
Yeah. We want Matthew Broderick involved.
Otherwise, it's no deal.
No deal. Get that guy from Leon the Professional, or we're outskis.
It's either Ironsides or him.
Oh, yeah. Fantastic. I don't have any other trivia before we get into it. Do you?
No, it was a little thin on the trivia, and I didn't really feel like digging too deep. It doesn't feel like a dig too deep movie.
Yeah. There were lots of other interesting things to dig into, like go down the Ishirô Honda just like rabbit trail and like all of the movies and stuff. That's fun. But yeah, this movie's just, it's fine.
Yeah, that guy's basically a god in Japan. I mean, he's look at the effect he's had on popular culture, for God's sake. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Or is it for Ishiro's sake?
Oh, dang!
I'm an idiot.
Honda Civic!
Oh no. Oh, Ghidorah!
Oh, son of Godzilla!
That's where things fell apart.
Yeah.
I'll never forget the first time I saw that. I was just like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, I will take the two fairy ladies that sing at Mothra 10 times before Son of Godzilla.
What's going on with Scrappy Zilla?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good things. All right, let's dive in. Are you ready, John?
Oh man, born ready.
All right, here we go. All the spoilers coming at your face. There's a dude, he frame narrates about having gone insane, but it's fine, he'll tell us about the story anyway. It turns out only like one person died on the island that he was on, but he's the only one to come back.
Yeah.
Very Lovecraftian, love it, great start. He's also like, it looks like he's just in a high-rise. Like, I don't know what's up, but
he's in like Anakin Skywalker's apartment, basically.
Yes. That's way better than where I was going. That's perfect. After some lively sailing credits, we're introduced to the skipper, the professor, the student, the singer, the writer, the yacht owner, and some extra guy just in case.
You incorrectly assume that it's because they want the kill count to be high, but nope.
Nope, he's just the extra guy for forever.
Just in case they didn't have enough misogyny packed into the movie.
Yeah, the one that looks like the obvious main character is just the extra guy.
Thanks so much for making it more confusing.
Yeah. Luckily, at the beginning of the movie, they're all wearing distinct outfits, but don't worry, those will go away, and even they'll, like, exchange necklaces, and I have no idea who anyone is anymore.
I love the things they choose to save, like their skipper hat, or their ascot, or whatever, like, it's like, what the fuck?
Yes. Yes, all of my clothes have been ruined by my own body funk, but yet I'm still going to wear this disgusting ascot.
I also love how they're like 1000% clearly sitting, like standing on a fake boat that people are rocking while a movie screen in the background shows the ocean.
Yes. Yeah. Super all the way Toho Studio style. Like, it is, if you have any, like, Godzilla nostalgia, like, you're just gonna immediately fall into this movie. It's right there. You know the feeling, you know the sets. It's splendid.
It's prime Toho with, like, a dash of what the fuck.
Yeah, it's like Toho, but we didn't want to spend a lot of money on the things.
We've got a fair amount of latex to use later.
Yeah, we've got latex, but we don't want to have to do the thing where we pretend that things are a size other than the size they actually are.
Oh my god, I love when you see the boat rocking on the ocean and there's like these little figurines glued in the front of the boat so that it looks like the guys in the front. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's like behind the door 3 or whatever, or...
Oh yeah, behind the third nipple.
Yes, behind the third nipple. Train attack.
A muck train, that's right.
That's right, a muck train. Oh my god, the model train.
Oh my god. And the dummies, oh my god. Anyway, we should probably rewatch that movie at some point.
It's so good.
At this point, the weather gets rough. The crew are too busy with dialogue hijinks to actually prevent the ship from getting completely trashed by the storm. They're too busy giving each other, like, dating advice and other nonsense. It's real bad. They listen to a radio broadcast about themselves being lost at sea, just to let you know that time is meaningless in this movie.
I love how the battery lasts just long enough so they can hear the story about themselves being lost.
Yeah. It's like, well, and with that news hour over, we now take you to an advertisement for liquid anthrax. And, the battery ran out.
So fun. Oops.
John!
Oh man, where's my soundboard?
Yeah, you need a little bleeper.
Auga.
Let's see. They they're now drifting in the ocean and jabbering and moaning to one another for an indeterminate amount of time until they finally wash up on a foggy island and start looking for food. You know, it's a Toho Studios island. It looks like it's covered in dinosaurs. They find fresh water. They find signs of maybe other inhabitants, although by find signs I mean they point to the ground and they're like, look, signs of other inhabitants. And you see, like, that's just the ground, dude. What are you talking about? And then as they continue scouting the island, in the distance, the fog clears just enough that you see what can only be described as a pirate shipwreck in the distance.
A pirate shipwreck. After they decide that the most important thing to do is trek across the entire jungle-covered island and get to the other side. That's the guys, we must trek to the other side. It's like, why did you have to, what the fuck are you, okay.
Yeah.
So they see a shipwreck that looks like it's been there for centuries. And, you know, and then, of course, and the ship is just trashed. And they're like, you know, one of them says, she's like, it must have been here at least a year. And then, and then one of the other people says, they go, I wonder if there's anybody inside. What the hell is wrong with these people? So they walk up the gangplank or whatever that thing's called, and they get into this ship, and inside the ship they discover that the thing is it's just a fucking nightmare. Like, it's just coated in various colors of really gross looking mold. And all I could think was, wow, this looks like the inside of Barnes & Noble's bathroom.
Yeah, I loved that he was like, oh, it's slippery. Oh, it's the mold. There's mold everywhere. Let's go inside and breathe it in.
Let's disturb it as much as possible. Like, there's a guy in the mess hall or whatever who's, like, knocking over all the pans that are covered in mold looking for food. There's, like, yellow dust all in the air and nobody cares. It's amazing.
Like, oh, perhaps I could take a bath in this sink.
Oh, my God. Then they open a cabinet and find a preserved turtle with no eyes that moves by itself, and a bunch of wet specimens, and nothing is covered in mold, which is very mysterious, and these are signs of radiation, as in Toho style. So, okay.
Oh yeah, the like taxidermied turtle with no eyes. They're like, oh yeah, no eyes, a classic sign of radiation.
It's like, what? I bet we find a giant lizard somewhere. So they find a bunch of they sample the stuff. Oh, no, they don't sample the stuff. They find out that all this crap is mold free. But anyways, it's okay because they've found what looks like a wicker covered water cooler full of carbolic acid, which they're going to use to wash the entire ship. It's like, how much of that shit do you have? So it'll be fine. They're going to wash the entire ship in carbolic acid, and then everything will be livable. They find a giant, what one person describes as maybe edible mushroom inside a cabinet. It's like about 6 feet tall. They discover that all the mirrors have been removed. Well, that's peculiar. They find the captain's cabin. They open the door, and that is like pure mold hell. It's just like, it's like red and inches thick. It looks really cool, but it's disgusting.
Yeah.
The guy who wears a wife beater finds food down in this hatch area down in the hold, and they all act like dicks in general. They clean the entire ship, apparently, because suddenly the ship is clean-ish. It's mold-free anyway. Yeah. And one of the dudes wearing a hat, one of the behatted guys, is polishing a gun. Okay. Yeah. A rifle. Okay, that's fine. So now it's time to find food, because they don't have any food except the food that Wife Beater found, but that doesn't count. So they need more food, because it's not enough food or something, whatever. Yeah. And that includes, they're going to search the island for anything, including snakes and lizards. but don't eat the mushrooms because they might damage nerve tissue.
Yeah.
Blue Shirt posits that the mushrooms are probably fucking up the old crew's shit. That was their downfall, eating the mushrooms. Meanwhile, Socks is outside on some promontory, starting a campfire and thinking back to his beatnik nightclub days, where he is getting sexed up at a nightclub by a silver-dressed chanteuse. Yeah. and writing a mystery novel, apparently. He and the owner...
Such a good mystery novel!
He and the boat owner are talking a bunch of bullshit, smoking and drinking Johnny Walker Black.
Nice!
I don't know why he's thinking back on this. I guess because those were the good times, or this was the beginning of the end for him, or whatever it is. It doesn't matter. It's a cool scene. Two of the other interchangeable people, males, see a bunch of boats that have sunk in the water, but they're just like little skiffs and stuff. And then the guy says, "This island must be a ship's graveyard." Well, those aren't ships. There's one ship that you found, and the waters around that island are pretty still. I mean, doesn't look that precarious, but that's fine.
Yeah, it's good.
The ladies see a scary-looking silhouetted figure, which amounts to nothing, and then the two random dudes, let's just say two of the dudes, see a tree covered in shrooms, and then randomly shoot at what the guy describes as something. I saw something. He sees like a humanoid figure, so he just immediately starts shooting at it. It's like, God damn, dude, calm down. Tiny Glasses returns to the wreck with like a bunch of crap. Returns to the wreck, gets a bunch of crap, tries to sneak some food back on the wreck, but finds that the hold is locked. Suddenly it's nighttime, and everybody's on the wreck again. They've got buckets outside collecting rainwater. Someone outside is, very not delicately trouncing around, wakes them up. The skipper and one of the other guys goes to check it out. And then they run into the ladies, who are besheeted and look like ghosts or something. I don't know why. And it's just the ladies, and then they keep searching. Tiny Glasses raids the food hold. Apparently he is able to get in now. Almost runs into the Shroom Dude. He encounters him, and then that amounts to nothing. Shroom Dude enters the cabin, groans, and then we cut to the crew eating breakfast in the cabin.
Yeah.
What the fuck? What? He enters the cabin and everyone freaks the fuck out because a guy with bulbous growths all over his head, which apparently got the movie almost banned in Japan because it looked like Hiroshima wounds, comes in and groans, and then it just cuts to breakfast.
Yeah.
And they act like nothing happened. Like, one of them says something like, I could have sworn something happened last night, or something like that. I don't know if they're supposed to be exposed to spores or what, but that was weird.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was Toothhole who was the one who had been out creeping around, creeping on the girls, creeping on the food, and then he goes back and pretends to have been asleep the whole time.
Oh yeah.
And then Mushroom Head comes in the door. Everyone sees him except for Toothless, who is pretending to be asleep. And then it's just over and nothing happens. And he's now telling them that he thinks that they're like, oh yeah, you're all just seeing ghosts. What the fuck?
Toothless, who sleeps in sunglasses.
Yes. Yeah, it's so wild because there's so much buildup for it too. Like, you made it sound like a really quick thing, but it's 10 minutes of this movie is just this shape, knocking around in the boat, and them almost not quite seeing it, and then seeing it, and then it's just fine, and it's over with.
Yeah, the pacing in this movie is bizarre. That whole section that you described was 24 minutes. That's 24 minutes of them fucking off on a boat before they even really basically get anywhere. Like, they get on the island and don't really see much of anything. That's the first half hour of like an 80-minute movie.
Yes. This is literally a movie that you can just go ahead and skip halfway. You can skip the first half of this movie and get to the better part, and you will not have missed anything.
No.
Thank
just
God.
Picture Gilligan's Island, start halfway.
Yes, yeah. Thank God now we're at the really good part of the movie.
Here's where things get for real.
So, instead of any of that leading to anything, Yanni starts talking about how he could just rape the women and no one would do anything about it. And then one of the other guys is like, oh yeah, look here, see? And grabs a gun. And so Yanni brandishes a knife in that weird little, like, interned wrist pose, and he's like all like topless and a little sweaty and unpleasant looking. It's like if Jerry Lewis was brandishing a knife at you without his shirt on.
He's just shiny. It's gross.
He's glistening. Later, he finds a trove of turtle eggs, hides some turtle eggs in a cave, brings some turtle eggs triumphantly back to the ship. It's like 14 turtle eggs. That's like 1 million for each of us. Hooray, I'm a hero. And then also he has started a turtle egg side hustle where he's created his own turtle egg black market where people are paying him an indeterminate amount of money because I don't know the yen to dollar ratio, and I certainly don't know the yen to dollar ratio in 1963, and I certainly don't know the yen to dollar ratio in 1963 Toho movies. But let's just say it's a lot.
24,000 yen for eggs or something.
Yeah.
I like that the guy's like, all right, and he takes 2 bills out of his wallet and gives the guy his wallet.
Yeah. Yeah, and then of course they get to the meta element of it. He's like, well, it's still a gamble because what if I die before I can even spend any of this money? That's why I will do everything in my power to make it off this island so I can spend that money, even if it means I have to kill everyone, including you, the guy I'm talking to, who just gave me this money.
So apparently somebody brought Einstein on the boat with them. Oh, man.
At this point, we find out that the writer has been eating the mushrooms, and now he's on some entirely other shit like Jay-Z, and to the point that they have to lock him up because he's like, yeah, and if I killed you, would it even be killing anything? Because how are things even are?
He's such an idiot.
He really is. Then we see that the skipper has been spending all of this time repairing the yacht by, like, nailing up boards across the holes like it's a window and you're trying to keep werewolves out? I don't know.
It's just like building strange scaffolding inside the boat, which is somehow repairing it.
Yeah, it's repairing it. Never you mind that the problem was that the masts are broken and all of the sails are gone. He's repairing the boat with wood.
Apparently he wove new sails because like, later on everything is fully restored.
Yeah. And then it turns out that he has in fact taken off not just with the boat, but also, quote unquote, all the food, including the guy's secret stash of turtle eggs that I guess he saw him stashing and unstashing from. That's great. So while this realization is going on, the singer apparently releases the writer from where they'd locked him up in a room where another guy wanted to be left alone. I don't know. And then he has a gun and he's up there like, yeah, and with the gun, and then he's like, get her. And so then with the singer's help, he takes the student girl hostage. So now he's got both girls, because the singer helped him take the student hostage, and then he he kills the yacht owner because the yacht owner like climbs the gangplank up there, and it's just like bam, dead. And then the other two dudes overpower him and take the rifle away from him and banish him and the singer out into the wilderness. So they have to like walk down the plank and like wander off into the forest because they were bad. And then we see down at the bottom of the plank, there's the yacht owner's body, and the bills of money are just falling out of his pockets and blowing away in the wind.
Yes, it's a little tableau of the ills of greed, I guess. I don't know what the fuck.
Yeah.
So anyways, they bury Cash Money in the rain, and then we see that as it keeps raining, the shrooms grow buck wild in the downpour. They're just like visibly growing. Meanwhile, the gang is like doing their gang thing, and somebody. What's that?
By gang, so now we're down to the student,
yeah,
the psychology professor,
yes,
and the extra guy, the
rando,
the good old just in case obvious first guy to die guy. He's now stuck around and is part of the final three.
Why the fuck not? Somebody mentions that it's been raining for a week, so now they've been there for a week. Mamie, the singer, returns. She's clearly been shroomed because she's now acting all goofy and monotone and creepy smile, and the one guy like is fawning all over her. Oh, it's ridiculous. He's so happy to see her return. Back on the island, we see the shrooms again, and we hear like all giggles through the jungle or whatever. Just lots of giggling.
It is. It's an excessive amount of giggling.
It's so weird. Back to, let's see, who is it? I have lost completely who it is at this point.
I think, honestly, part of the problem is that we watched the American dubbed version, and I think the dubbed version, like when they were dubbing it, I think they got the characters confused. So like there are times where the character who's supposed to be like the speaking character is verbally addressing what should be themselves, like, look here, you Mr. Businessman who knows how to do business and stuff, when it's the yacht owner that's talking. Yeah. It's like you've fucked it all up.
It's yeah, that doesn't help at all. A movie that's already hard to follow. So some people eat the fuck out of some shrooms.
Yeah.
And then the dude who eats the shrooms sees like stars in front of his field of vision, and then he starts getting like all tripped out. He sees like suddenly we're in the nightclub and we see burlesque dancing and neon lights. Everything's like trippo vision. It's very, very hilarious. He gets totally fucking wasted, and and then they're like all. As this happens, like he starts getting completely shroomed. Like all the creatures are coming in, all the shroom people. They have like mushroom cap heads, and they're all and it's all like reverbed and ridiculous sounding. I mean, it's kind of like it. I understand. I forget if it was Del Toro or Soderbergh who said that the movie traumatized them when they were young, or that. You know,
oh yeah,
like. I was pretty young when I saw this, but probably not as young as they were. And I remember thinking, like, this is goofy, but it's kind of creepy at the same time. Like, when you hear all the giggling and stuff. Because they don't have faces, which I thought was actually pretty smart. They don't have, like a dumb face, like, surrounded by a mushroom, you know, like.
Yeah, and this is, like, right in the middle of the Godzilla's eyes are crossed era of Toho, so it was, like, really a good choice. Just make it a faceless, nothing mushroom monster. And yeah, it's pretty creepy. Like, they did a really good job on these mushroom things.
Yeah, I mean, they you know, they're obviously, like, you know, latex suits or whatever, but it's fun. And, you know, I thought it was funny. So anyways, they're closing in on him. It's ridiculous. We cut back to the wreck, it's moldy all over again. It turns out the carbolic acid didn't last long.
Nope.
Blue coat, which just means the guy who is currently wearing a blue coat, searches for Kosai. I don't even know who Kosai was.
That's the extra dude. That's the sailor extra.
I got it.
Yeah. And he's the one that got lured away by the singer and ate the mushrooms, and then she's like, but what I didn't tell you was that the mushrooms have AIDS!
Okay.
Yeah.
So he clearly does not find Kosai. And then he and the student have a big hug, and she's crying because women get they get a little overwhelmed in these scenarios. Women are very emotional.
Yeah,
and they're weak, and they can't handle things like stress. So apparently she needs him, this douchebag, to hug her and calm her down. He notices somehow, even though he's been on the boat for God knows how long, he suddenly notices the mold explosion. Like, he just kind of is like, oh. And then Black Shirt sees their boat and swims over and climbs aboard from the beach. He swims, jumps into the surf, gets to the boat, climbs over the edge, somehow is only damp after just climbing out of the ocean, snoops around, finds the story of what happened basically written on the wall of the cabin inside the ship from the old skipperino. Or the owner or whatever, and then he goes back to shore, and back on the wreck he tells the student that the owner died at sea, and or the skipper or whoever the fuck it is. The skipper, the old skipperino died at sea, and that they're totally stranded forever. Which they're not, but okay.
That's fine.
Yeah. And she's just really hungry, and she's just tired, women. Oh, jeez. And so,
man,
she wants to eat the shrooms. Fortunately, she has a man there, so he slaps her in the face, and then they cry cuddle, and he tells her that he loves her, because he just slapped her in the face, and then they make out. While they're making out, somebody or someone bangs on the door. Oh, it's shroom folk. Black Shirt starts shooting, but they're coming from several different angles. I think 2. A shroom arm comes through the door, which he hits with the gun and knocks it off, and then he shoots at it and the thing retreats. He gives chase and gets totally shroomed. He shoots it while the student is now getting shroomed. More shrooming for him. Shroom overload. The two shroomies...
Everybody shroom.
Yeah. It's good. The two shroomies drag the student away in shroomed fog, with giggling shroom fog. Black Shirt goes off to search for her. He gets shroomed once again. Shroom surrounded. He starts shooting his way out. He finds the student. Oh, good. They're going to wait a minute. She's eating the goddamn shrooms.
Yeah.
And hey, you must try them. They are delicious. And he calls her a fool. And then he grabs her and fights through a shroom gauntlet to get back to shore. He gets to the boat and bails that motherfucker. She sticks around. We're back to him. He is now back in the neon high-rise, back in Anakin's apartment. He's narrating his regret at not staying on the island because, as we've discovered, he's like a guinea pig, basically, because of where he's been and da-da-da, and people are stupid and everybody's a dick, and he's confined to this awesome apartment, and it's just not fair. But then he turns around to look at all the doctors, and he's got shroom face. Oh, man. And then we get a little soliloquy about modern society sucking balls, and then movie over. Yes.
Yeah. At the the end there, he's just like, man, Tokyo's a piece of shit.
People are stupid. I'd rather eat mushrooms and turn into a fungus man. I should have stayed on the island. At least I'd be with my one true love.
Yeah. I want to go back to the island that's covered in bitches.
That's such a convincing argument.
Yeah. Man, what a wild ride.
Yeah, it's something else. That movie is one of a kind for sure.
Yeah, you should definitely load up on psilocybin and watch that movie. I bet it enhances the experience.
Oh my god, I can only imagine. That must be insane.
It's be like, wait, has my sense of time stopped, or does this not make sense?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, John, if you had to rate this movie on a scale of 0 to 5 loathsome of things, how many of those would you give it?
I sadly did not rate this movie very high, although I did enjoy it. That was the one rating that was pretty high. Unfortunately, virtually every other part of this film is god-awful, at least to me. I gave it a 1.85.
Whoa! Holy shit!
It was so bad. I just thought, like, it's not horror, really. It's not scary. The atmosphere is just ridiculous. Terrible writing. The effects were pretty cool. Production values were terrible. I did enjoy it, and the acting was just awful.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, it at the same time, this is a weird one for me because it's like my rating is low, but it's just because I'm going off of these dumb criteria that I may have to change because they're just not accurately representing how I felt. I really enjoyed this movie a lot. I wouldn't, personally give it a 5 or anything, but if I was just off the cuff, I would definitely recommend this movie. I think it's a lot, it's just fun to watch. But I would probably give it maybe a 3.5 or something like that, maybe even a little high, 3.75 if I was just going personal, but that's off my shitty arbitrary rating scale. How about yourself?
Well, I did go a little higher than you. I gave it a 2.9. Mm-hmm. It's a really crappy movie, but it's super enjoyable because, as soon as you see if you see the American title, Attack of the Mushroom People, you see the Toho Studios thing, you already know what you're in for. Yeah. You know you're in for some mess, and so yeah, it's if you signed up for this movie, then you're gonna have a good time. But you could have had a better time if, I don't know, King Ghidorah showed up or something like that. Yeah.
I wish more was put into the whole big reveal, not necessarily it being a surprise, because it's not a surprise when the movie's called Attack of the Mushroom People.
Yeah.
But it would have been nice to have more of that and less of them wandering around across an island that I don't care to watch. Or them just basically at sea telling women to shut up and how they're all so cool because they're men or whatever. It's like, can we get past this part, please?
Yeah. I think I haven't looked into it, but this feels like it's got to be a pretty early example of psychedelic cinema.
Yeah. Yeah, no kidding. For 63?
For 63, and he's a writer, so he's kind of the beatnik of Japan. Yeah. And they tripping on shrooms, and the shrooms are coming alive like that. It's pretty cool shit.
Yeah, that's true. Those guys are pretty hip on it, that they're all about psychedelic mushrooms and stuff.
Yeah. Let's just hang out in a boat and get real high.
Let's get ripped. Let's turn into the mushrooms we eat.
Oh man, is it just me or are we all glistening?
They are shiny people. Damn.
Oh, it smells terrible in here.
I like where they're talking about how foggy it is, and they're all cooped up inside this shipwrecked cabin with all the doors closed and portals closed and everything, and they're all chain smoking. And the whole cabin is filled with fog. And they're like, it's so foggy today.
Man, all of our food is ruined, but somehow we managed to keep the tobacco dry.
But somehow they managed to save enough cigarettes to last 5 people a week.
Yeah, way more than a week. There are so many points where it implies, like, I think they're supposed to have been on the island for months.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And there's just, like, random nonsense scenes in here, too. There's a scene where the 2 women are doing some sort of women's work in the water. They're, like, in the rocks off the coast, and they're just, like, just working at whatever it is that women do. I guess washing clothes. It's not really shown what's happening, and it doesn't really have a story beat to it. We're just treated to that for a while.
No, it's great. I love how, as dumb as the guys are, and they're real fucking dumb, the women are always treated as second-class citizens no matter what. Yeah.
We didn't really get to the female's personality. The singer is vain. Whenever there's a point where she's, like, getting it on with a dude, and then another dude comes in and he's mad, and then they all fight. And she goes out to the student. She's like, they all want me.
It's like the dragon lady.
Yeah. And then the student does not have a personality. No. Her personality is the young one who is there until the very end, where she's like, I'm sleepy and hungry. I'm weak. Hit me. And that's it.
Pretty much, yeah. Don't worry, I'll drag you down at the end of the movie.
Yeah, I'm the student who's here with her professor, and they make fun of it because they don't kiss. I don't know what's going on in this movie.
It's kind of like, like the 90s movies have remade all this stuff except with teenagers. So, like, the crew of idiots that are all stereotypes of the worst facets of their age group, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, if these people, if this had been an American movie, like, around 2000, then all the women would have huge tits, and the dudes would just have, like, hyper-defined cum gutters. Like, it would just be on.
Oh, man. There'd be lots of showering scenes, and...
Oh, man, yeah. Yeah. The mushrooms would look way more like dicks.
Attack of the Dick People.
Oh, fantastic. So yeah, you can watch the movie. It's a good time. You can skip the first half of it. It's not a good time, but then it gets better. I wish they had spent more time with the mushroom people. Like, I wish we'd gotten, like, more of that and, like, a little bit more interplay, but it's cool that this movie was controversial. It's cool that it, like, progressed some boundaries and stuff. That's neat, you know?
I wish the mushrooms had been more colorful, like, and that they would have made better use of color. You know, there's very little color in this movie. It's pretty monotone. I mean, there's a scene where they're on that like when they're on the shipwreck, and the windows are like stained glass, but they're completely covered in fucking mold, so you can barely see them. That's about the brightest color in the whole movie, except maybe when Socks is reminiscing at his campfire in broad daylight, and the sun is out and the sky is bright blue. Like, the rest of the time that they shot this movie, it was just completely overcast.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, the version of the movie that we watched, I think, was pretty washed out.
Yeah, that's true.
But I have heard it described as being, like, visually dark.
Yeah.
But I did a Google image search for it, and, like, half of the images that popped up were in black and white, and the other half were in, like, super ultra vibrant, like fucking,
like Technicolor.
Yeah, like fucking Gone with the Wind colors and shit.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it was just we got a bad one or if this movie sucks, but I'd be willing to bet that the movie sucks.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably true. Yeah. I ended up watching it on some service I'd heard about but never used, called Zumo.
Ooh.
Which doesn't even have a fucking search? Doesn't have a search function. It's just, you have all this, all the stuff that you can do like any other streaming channel, like, Tubi or whatever, except it has like live TV and stuff, but there's no search feature that I could find. And so I had to go back to the search feature on my television enter in the movie title, and then it reopened the app and started the movie. That was the only way I was able to find it. So
nice.
Whatever.
Yeah.
It looked. I mean, the transfer looked clean. It just was. The color just was weird or bad. Just low color, not bad.
Yeah, lo-fi.
Yeah.
I'll have to look for there because I was trying to take screen grabs for our little episode color thing, and it's like, man, all of this is blurry and unlovable.
Yeah, but, check out XUMO Shumo.
Ah, with an X, nice.
Clever.
Oh yeah.
Oh Jesus.
Fantastic.
Yeah. What was your rating? I don't remember. 3,000?
2.9.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
2.9. So that makes it a 3.4 point something. It doesn't matter. It's less than 5.
4.75, right? Because I had I had $1.85, so add $4 to that and take away 10 cents.
Yeah, it's like you've worked on a cash register, my guy.
I got it wrong anyway. It's fine. It's 5 something. 5.75, right? 5.75? No.
Is it? I don't know.
I don't know math. That's not why we're here.
My favorite total on a cash transaction is any number of dollars and then 59 cents, because then you're going to give them 41 cents back in change, and that's 1 quarter, 1 dime, 1 nickel, and 1 penny.
Oh,
hell yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. That's the kind of excitement you get to look forward to when you're a cashier in the pre-everything's a credit card era.
Yes, good times. Oh, God. Okay, so one more time. 2 point what?
2.9.
2.9. Okay, so that's 4.75. I had it right
first
first time. Out of
nice.
Jesus Christ. Out of 1,000 loathsome things. So 4.75 out of 10.
Yeah.
It's almost halfway there.
100 years of loathsome things.
Oh man. Whoa.
Any other things that you've been doing, John? Other watches, other listens, other reads?
I did watch.
I did.
I did watch a couple 1, 2, 3s.
Things? I started the series called Parasite on TV on Netflix.
Ooh.
It's like super campy. I believe it's Korean horror about obviously a parasitic invasion that makes people's faces explode into weird tentacle monsters. It's pretty fucking awesome, and I've only watched one episode. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. I saw the movie Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things, which is fucking terrible. It's real bad. I've always heard it was funny, and it's just not. It's just bad.
That's the precursor. That's the one that he made before the one we watched, right?
I don't even remember who made it. Who made it?
Isn't that... Oh, shit. The guy that did Black Christmas.
Oh, God. Is it really? Bob?
I think so. Baba.
Baba?
Baba?
Baba O'Reilly? Is that his name?
Baba O'Reilly. Yeah, that's him.
I thought it was Bob something. Jesus Christ. Did he make that movie?
Shit.
It's so bad. It's like...
Bob Clark.
The effects are... He made that.
I'm checking now.
Oh, okay. So the some of the makeup effects are kind of fun to look at. They're really bad, but they're just entertaining. But it's just like a bunch of teenagers who think it would be funny to dig up dead people, and then they come alive and fuck them all up. And it's really bad. Speaking of bad teenage horror, I rewatched House of the Devil by Ty West.
Nice.
With Tom Moynihan? No, I can't remember his name. He's the guy that plays the killer in Manhunter way back in the day. Tom Noonan.
Oh.
Tom Noonan. He plays Buffalo Bill, no, that's the other movie. He plays what do they call him? The Tooth Fairy. That's what they call him in that movie, in Manhunter.
Nice.
Did you see House of the Devil? It's like this. It's set in the 70s or 80s, I guess. This girl
Yes, I have seen that, but
Yeah.
I don't remember anything.
It's like it's cool because it's kind of a throwback. It's not as good as I thought it was going to be, I guess, but on the rewatch, I've enjoyed it more. So I don't know. Maybe it's because I get his style a little bit better after after these movies he's been making lately, which are just complete fucking bangers. And then I watched the Fog remake, and wow, that's terrible. It's so bad. I've always wanted to watch it, but I was afraid that it would just be so bad, and it is fucking horrible. It is really bad. I can't even imagine that they made it. It's so bad. But anyways,
that's the one from like 2008, right?
Yeah, it's got like Selma Blair.
Yeah,
and a bunch of other people I can't remember. That one of the girls from Lost is in it, and
nice.
It's fucking awful. It's so bad. God. Anyway, how about you?
So you remember Ravenous? We watched that. Was that earlier this year? Or was that last year? I don't know.
I don't remember.
But the guy who plays the Wendigo in that, Robert Carlyle.
Yeah, Robert
I don't
Carlyle.
remember.
Yeah.
I found his show. It's like Doc Martin, but if Doc Martin was a police officer, called Hamish Macbeth.
Okay.
And I tried watching that, but their Scottish accents were so powerful that I couldn't understand anything that they said. But I was like real looking forward to it. I was like, oh man, I think we sold the DVD box set of this. I remember seeing it like when I had DirecTV, and that was on like there was like an 8-hour block of Hamish Macbeth on the BBC. And I was like, I'm finally gonna watch this show, and then they're just like, which was terrifying.
Oh my god. That's fantastic.
And I finally watched Late Night with the Devil, which was pretty good.
It was all right. It was good. It wasn't. That wasn't what everyone else seems to think it was, to me anyway.
I haven't read any like of the hype about it. I guess people have been hyping it up. I mean, it was cool. Like there were parts of it that were really cool. I liked when her head was,
it's
half light.
It's like one of those movies that if people not forgot about it, but quit talking about it maybe 10 years from now, and that's when you first saw it, so you didn't have any of the crap behind it. You just watched the movie. Probably would be like, oh, this movie's pretty cool. I haven't heard about it, but blah, blah, blah. But after, like, fresh on the heels of, oh, it was a huge hit. It was in the theaters. The audiences were actually paying to see it, and the critics loved it, and da-da-da. And then I watched it, and I was like, yeah, it's okay. I checked my pants. There's no shit in them, so, I mean...
Yeah. I mean, the actors did a fine job. It was just, not, I guess, predictable's not the right word, but it was very, it was predictable.
It was predictable. It's like they tried to do something original, and all they really proved is that the demon possession genre is so fucking tired that there's almost nothing new to cut. You're better off just going back to like the old, just hit the old hits back again and just do it in a way that's fun again or something, because to try these new twist movies, like there's the whole legal thriller demon possession movie where they're like, person's on trial and all this crap, and it's like nobody cares about that shit. I don't want to watch Law and Order plus demons.
Yeah.
So that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, Russell Crowe plus Exorcism. Apparently there's 2 of them. They're not related.
I saw the latest one. That was terrible.
Nice. Yeah, this the late night one, it kind of had some Beau is Afraid vibes at the end. It was there were things of interest in it, but other than that, it was just like, oh, okay, I feel like I see where this is going, but maybe it'll surprise me. Oh, no, we're just okay, yeah, that's good.
I love that. Like a main part of the movie is that he basically made a deal with the devil, because it's not really that obvious in the film, even though it's kind of implied. It's not like they just come right out and let you know that that's what he did, but apparently that is what he did. And
Yeah.
according to him, the devil is in the movie. Everyone thinks it's the guy in the skeleton costume, but I don't think it is. He's like, if you go back and watch it, because people have rewatched it, and they're like, okay. And I'm like, I'm not rewatching it, so you can forget that.
No, that's fine. I mean, the thing in there is that he didn't just make a deal with the devil, but I think he made a deal with the devil, and that's why his wife died of cancer.
Right.
And
he sacrificed his wife for fame, right?
Yeah. But also,
Welcome to Midnight Theater.
We're so fucked. People's houses are flooding. It's great.
Good times.
Yeah. What is it? Yeah. She never smoked, but she's still dying of like lung cancer. And it's like, oh, so this is just a secondhand smoke movie? But then they just never address it, so it's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good. Truth.org. It's good.
This is the movie where I learned that the actor David Dalmatian, or whatever his name is, has weird white lines, like a white ring around each eye. That is just some strange coloring. Like, I went to go see photos of him just to see if it was, like, is it a makeup thing? No, his eyes are like that. He has weird white rings around the lids of his eyes that makes these weird little, it's weird. That's a weird dude right there.
I bet if you could get 101 of him, you could make a really nice coat.
Whoa. I bet if you opened a fire station, he could be your mascot.
We're so smart!
Oh my god. Oh yeah, I also rewatched Blade Runner 2049, which he's in, and I really like that movie.
Is it? I have not seen it.
It's good. It's got some good shit. It's
nice.
Yeah, Jared Leto's pretty funny in it. I mean, he's not supposed to be funny, but his performance is pretty funny because it's so Jared Leto. And they've got the what's his name? Dave Bautista is in it.
Oh wow,
he's great as usual. I love that dude. And yeah, it's a lot. I'm not going to say it's a lot of fun, but it's a lot of fun. I fucking hate that phrase. I don't know why I say it all the time.
It's okay. I cringe whenever I'm listening and like editing the audio because like when you're talking I'm just like yeah. And then my thing is oh god, oh Jesus, oh god. And it's terrible. Listening to me is the worst.
Oh, tell me about it. I when I listen to myself on the show, I just hear my dad. I just hear him like, you know, let me tell you something, John. It's like, oh, Jesus Christ.
When I was like a teenager, my dad's brothers would call on the house phone because that's how people used to communicate. Yeah. And I would answer and I would be like, hello. And they'd be like, hey, Gerald. And then they would just start talking to me. I'd be like, no, dude, please, no. Whatever you're saying, I'm sure it's bad, but please don't tell it to me. I'm not that guy.
Also, thanks.
Yeah, great.
So it's that time again, Josh, where I don't know what who cares? It's that time again where we choose what movie we will cover next, and it's your turn. Where are you heading with this next episode?
Well, I think we're gonna keep an old tradition alive. Folks who remember things of yore will remember that the second episode we ever recorded was Frank Henenlotter's Basket Case. And then they might further remember that on the 1 year plus 1 episode anniversary, we covered Basket Case 2. Mm-hmm. Ergo, which is not how that word would be used in this situation, then for the, again, time next, we did Basket Case 3. Now, hence, there's no more Basket Case.
Right.
So we're back to 1988. We're going to be watching Frank Henenlotter's first non-Basket Case film, Brain Damage.
Yes. Oh,
yes.
Man. I love Brain Damage.
I'm excited because I haven't actually ever seen it.
Oh,
so
man, you're in for a treat.
I can only assume I am. It looks like it's not too far of a departure from Basket Case.
Yeah, I guess that's it. Yeah, it's not quite as gritty and New Yorky, I guess.
Nice.
No, it is. It is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, it's fucking great. You're gonna love it.
Okay. I look forward to loving this movie.
It's amazing.
Yeah. So join us 2 weeks henceward when Wince reviews that movie.
Oh, and as always, I'm sorry that you all have to dance.